Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to No Frills, episode 7. Right, back again.
And we are.
We are another episode 7 this time. We're back in my gaff.
We're back in Derby.
Back in Derby. No dog. Plenty of people there outside. I'd like to close the window. It's absolutely roasted in here, but I think it's for the best. I've got these windows that are like single pane glass and wooden frames, so they just let everything in, all the sound, all the cold, everything. So we just have to see how it goes.
There's no dog interrupting us though.
There is no dog. It could be arranged. I mean, we could get the dog up here, but he's a nutter, so I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, we've had an idea.
We're moving up in the world. Getting with the times.
We're getting with the times. Essentially, this show goes out on Lucky Star Radio, 4th Friday of every month. And then we also put a version online. Used to be on SoundCloud. I think the first 5 are on SoundCloud. I think we had a problem with the last one. Basically, we're all on SoundCloud. But there's a limit to the amount of audio you're allowed on SoundCloud. We have to pay extortionate amount of money. So we're thinking of upgrading and putting our podcast on YouTube, essentially.
Upgrading for free.
But that means that there may be a visual component added, as that's kind of your forte. You kind of know what you're doing when it comes to video. I do the audio stuff, you can do the rest.
Yeah, should be good. People will actually be able to see what we're talking about when we're in hysterics over stupid videos we've seen.
That's it.
We always say we're going to put them on the Facebook and never do.
That's it. It's when we talk about ridiculous stuff, when we're talking, or we're talking about bits and pieces and references to certain people and places, we can easily just put the pictures on there now. So when you guys are listening along, or you can also watch along and kind of see some artwork, see what we're talking about, any musicians that we talk about, anything like that, we can always put it all on, and it'll be hopefully easy. I hope it's going to be easy.
It'll be easy. It'll be easy for you. You won't have to do anything.
I just mix the audio. All I have to do is send the audio. I'm sure all I have to do is send audio, which is nothing more than I do normally. But we're just hoping it'll be, a better end product, and you guys will be able to, enjoy it a bit more, and we can grow it a little bit, hopefully. Basically, all the podcasts I watch on YouTube.
See, I'm the complete opposite. Every podcast that I listen to is on either Spotify or my podcast app. But I'm up for a change.
I like the podcast app, but only because I would use it more, because I like that my phone links to my Bluetooth and everything to my car. But because I watch everything on YouTube, it doesn't remember where you are on the podcast app.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you could be an hour and a half through a Joe Rogan, and then I go into the car and press the button. I'm like, I can't remember where I was. And it's such a long way to scroll through that 3 hours to find the gap that I never normally do.
When I'm listening to podcasts, it's always, I have like an hour commute to work and an hour commute home, so that's 2 hours a day. And then I have, whenever I'm coming down here, that's an hour. Like, I live in like the middle of nowhere. It's literally an hour to get anywhere. If I go back to Manchester to see my family, it's an hour on the train. It's an hour on the bus to work. It's an hour on the train to Derby. It's an hour on the bus to band practice. Like, it just takes me an hour to get anywhere. So it's always just headphones. I'm not one of them that sits on the bus with my phone out watching it on a little screen.
I've seen people doing that.
Yeah, I don't like that. A Game of Thrones got spoiled for me that way.
I think that got spoiled for everybody. I've never. I'm the guy that's never seen it, even though that was what everybody was talking about.
To be fair, I was up until about 3 weeks ago, and then we just thought we'd give it a chance. Me and the wife one night, and we had nothing to do, and then we just ended up smashing 8 seasons in a fortnight.
That's pretty good going. How many episodes in a season?
It's different. I think the first one, off the top of my head, I think it's 16 episodes, like an hour each. But then it goes to like 8 episodes at an hour and a half each. So
8 movies.
It's a lot. It's probably about 40 hours, the whole thing. It's good though.
I see if I can be able to knock it out. I might wait now it's finished. I'll wait till the hype's died down.
I thought it was all going to be like just like a Lord of the Rings rip-off when you see all the artwork and that. And I just thought, I'm not going to be into this. But it's pretty like political and stuff. There's a lot of scheming and stuff going on.
I see Char loves it. She hasn't seen the last episode yet, so she's been avoiding social media. By the time this airs, she will have seen it. But she's absolutely obsessed with it. People I know that are into it are
you either love it or it's just not for you.
But I mean, like how people say that Rick and Morty fans are arseholes.
Yeah.
And everyone says that Rick and Morty fans are the worst, even though I've never really seen any evidence of it. It's just quite funny that seems to be a thing. These fans are worse.
Yeah,
I've seen.
Yeah, no, I agree.
When I used to be a teacher and we used to talk about I think at the time it would have been like early Walking Dead and Breaking Bad were on.
Yeah.
And we, as a class, we'd go, right, are we just going to wait till the end and binge it, or are we going to do week by week? Because if we're doing week by week, we're definitely not talking about it in class. We're not going to mention it. There's not going to be spoilers in this classroom. Like, there's on pain of death as your teacher, there's not going to be anything. And it worked out quite well. And we'd never talk about it, and we all got through Breaking Bad, all 4 seasons or whatever. There's not much. But I don't even watch Game of Thrones, and I know what happened in last night's episode already. I already know, and I don't even know any of the characters.
Now. It just happens now.
People will spoil it for each other.
But the internet's a very different place than it was 10 years ago.
I guess it is. Well, people put memes and think they're like well coded or well hidden, and I'm like, they're really not. If I can figure out what's going on in the episode, and I don't even know the people.
Well, we've had like a social media embargo in our house for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going on anything. No Facebook, no Instagram. Not having anything spoiled, and they still manage to find you.
They do.
I had when I woke up on the morning, because obviously over here the finale went out at like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
You could watch it on, I think Sky Atlantic it's on. You could watch it at 2 in the morning over here, or you could wait till it's on at like human hours. It's on at like tea time.
You're behind.
But literally, I woke up, just turned my alarm off on the phone, and I had a notification from Google Chrome, and I've never Googled Game of Thrones because I'm terrified of spoilers, so I don't know how it's done it. But I just woke up, had a notification from Google Chrome, clicked in it, opened up, like, oh, the reactions of such a body dying in the final. How's that happened? Like, it's just unreal.
I can't deal with that.
You just can't. Everything's got to be live, hasn't it? Or it just gets ruined.
Yeah. The only thing I watch that gets ruined is UFC. Because it goes out, depending on where it is, usually it's about 3 a.m. our time, the main card starts. The prelims like 1 a.m. and that's quite late. And then it goes on till about 6:30, kind of 7 in the morning. It's a long time if you want to stay awake.
I've got too much going on for UFC now. Like when I used to watch nights, obviously I work for a big sports betting company. So like any events that were going on overnight, obviously it's not as busy at night. They'd have them on all the big screens, just like watching it at the cinemas, like it was ace.
That'd be awesome.
So I used to be up to date like with all the UFCs and like all the boxing and stuff, but since I'm back on days, I've just not got time for it. Like you say, it's like if you're watching that the undercard and everything, it's
a long time.
It's a proper session.
I normally wait till the day after, and that's like a Sunday our time, and that's the viewing for the afternoon, like the entire afternoon and evening, and I chisel it out for that, just to make sure. But that gets spoiled all the time, because if you follow the fighters, they're going to put something up immediately. If you follow the UFC, they're going to put something up immediately. Or the MMA, like the news sites, they're going to put stuff up immediately.
Yeah.
Apart from the last one, wasn't spoiled. But then I noticed that as I was watching it, as I'd be going on my social media, more and more would be coming up about it. Like as I'm watching it, I'm like, hang on a minute, I just saw that. What the hell's going on? But it happened all the time. Like, as I was watching it, I'm like, it's my phone. Like, is it listening to the TV?
It must have. Yeah, me and Sam talk about this, and we tested it. Like, she was going on about The Greatest Showman, that film, and like
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
No.
But
no.
she was banging on about it basically, and I know for a fact that is not anything that I've ever like interacted with on any social media. I've never Googled to find anything out about it. I've never typed those words in the same sentence on my phone. And she was talking about it for about an hour, trying to convince me to watch it. I was like, no, it's not for me. Then there's some open air cinema travelling round in Stoke in some car park, and they were showing it there. She was trying to get me to go. I was like, not having it. Literally, since then, I've just been inundated with Facebook adverts and everything about The Greatest Showman. It's weird, man. I don't get it. I don't like it at all. It makes me want to go back to having like a 3310 brick phone.
It does.
It proper freaks me out.
I think it's my old Android where there's a way you can go in and listen to what the recordings that the phone had made about you. It was weird. It was like, I remember one of them being me talking to a car park attendant on the way out of a car park. Like my car was in the car park coming out. The phone's on the mount, and he's at the window of the car talking to me through the window of the car.
And you could hear the conversation.
And you could hear like 4 or 5 seconds of the conversation. And I was like, why is my phone picking that up? I was like, this is just weird, man. But obviously, it's all like geolocated and stuff. So it's like, oh, it knows which car park you're in, all that kind of stuff. It's like all that information.
I don't like it.
It's bizarre, man. And I get it. Like they're just trying to sell you more, whatever it is.
I say like everything is just designed about selling you stuff now, isn't it?
What? Yeah. What do you need? Even Amazon do it with ridiculous shit. Like it could be like a massive household purchase. Like you could be like, oh, I've just bought a brand new bed frame and everything, and they'd be like, you might like this, and it's another bed. Like, well, I just bought a bed. I don't need another bed. I just bought one. but it'll just keep coming up, or random stuff. But it's weird when you don't search it.
But I think it's weird, like how we just kind of accept it now.
Yeah.
Like I remember probably going back about 10, maybe 15 years ago when I was like at uni, and I was the college or uni, whichever it was. And I remember having like a bit of an argument with this girl I was seeing at the time, and she was going on about she's buying like some magazine like Heat or something. And I just remember
it.
Come back out, I was flicking through it, and it's like every page is an advert. I was like, you're literally paying to be advertised. That's all you're doing. And she was like disagreeing with us. I just proper vividly remember this conversation. And like you look back now, and like that's literally what's happening with me. Like I've got a phone in my pocket. Every time I get it up, social media, it's just adverts. You just get spammed with emails. Like it's literally all.
That's it.
24/7. Ramming it down your throat.
Whatever you search for, it's going to come back. Whatever you've been on, it's going to come back. Pages you've been on are going to come back. But the weird ones are stuff that you've just talked about. Yeah. It happens way too often. People believe it's not. Because everyone says that. Everyone's like, do you know what? I was just talking about this with my wife and she said this. I was talking about this with my boyfriend and he said this. And you're like, then it's nothing that I've ever watched or seen or searched for, and it'll be coming up. Yeah. Random stuff. I'd be like, what's going on? Like, I remember talking to a friend of mine and she was saying which gym she went to. And we were just talking about which gym she went to, because I was like, obviously I don't train at a gym, I train at like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu somewhere else. And her gym was advertised, like a local gym in Derby. I was like, what is going on? Like, how is that gym?
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's so bizarre.
It's weird.
Man.
It's weird.
We take that as normal now, eh? It's just, your phone's a wiretap.
It's just mad, isn't it? I really, really don't like it. Yeah, who's it? Well, it's just must purely be for advertising.
Who's making the money though? Is Google making the money? Is Facebook making the money? Facebook must be selling some of your preferences.
It'll be the app. It'll be your apps, won't it?
Yeah.
Like Facebook will be making an absolute mint on it. It's free to join. They've got millions of customers. They've got some massive infrastructure to sustain. They get them making money from somewhere.
They've got to be. But then they make this weird echo bubble, kind of echo chamber, where it's like, if you're say left wing and you're like staunchly left wing, all your stuff on Facebook will be geared towards that. Yeah. So you think you're one of everyone's like you.
Yeah.
When no one's really like you. It's actually the fact that, there's just tons and tons of people that have got different views, but you're just surrounded by people who've got your views, and it will tailor those views to you. So it's just a bit weird. It's just, I don't know, it just seems like bizarre that that's the thing that happens now. And we just... Yeah, the 3310 never did that to you, did it?
No. It could hold 10 text messages in its memory.
Yeah.
So there was no more trolling back through messages from 10 years ago and going, look, you did say it in an argument.
Yeah. I've got it here on this LCD.
You could have 10... I remember when I got a 3330 and on that, you could have 10 contacts saved on your SIM card, plus an additional 10 saved on the phone. You could have 20 mates. It
I like the 3330. That was the white one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With the
it's like inverted colours.
Yeah.
And it had Snake 2 rather than Snake.
That's the one
you could go off the screen and come back on the other side. That was absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, that never happened then, did it? When you had to call up for your ringtones and make them up yourself.
Yeah, you could pay like 12 quid. You could read them adverts in magazines. Again, adverts in magazines.
The back page of every magazine.
Oh, yeah, 12 quid and you can have the James Bond ringtone, and it's just a really, really poor, like polyphonic.
It wasn't even polyphonic.
Monophonic at first, wasn't it? Yeah, it was monophonic version of it. And then you could go on these like websites like Mr. Tones where you had that composer.
Yeah.
And you had to like get all the notes and put it in.
I think even today I could probably type a text message faster on one of those.
Yeah, I definitely think I could. I definitely think I could.
I'm not so bad at it because I write longhand, but my iPhone corrects me or what it thinks is correcting me.
Yeah.
The messages you send me are just...
I can type on a keyboard. I'm like a wizard. I can type fast on the keyboard.
Exactly, yeah, I can type as fast as I can talk on
QWERTY keyboard when my thumb covers 4 buttons at once. It just don't work.
I've got, what have I got, an iPhone SE or whatever it is. So it's a smaller iPhone, like an older iPhone. So it does me, because I'm not really fussed about any of that stuff anymore, apart from the camera being good, which this one started to fail. But I can't get, even when I had like a Note 4, like, when you press it, you get the haptic feedback. Yeah. So when you press it, it vibrates. Yeah. At least you've got something in your hand, so you're like, there's something registered that I pressed a button. Whereas when you just press like the 7 4 times to get an S and go through it, like click. You could text in your pocket.
Yeah, it was well better. You had like the 5 had the little raised things, so you could always figure out where you was.
Feel where you were, like the key still on, like J
and F on a keyboard, isn't it?
Yeah, I never did that little typing thing at school.
The touch typing thing.
Yeah, they did it. They had like a little program for it at college, and I never used it.
Well, I was terrible at typing until I started my job working in this contact centre. And you're on 3 live chats with 3 customers at once, just getting battered for 12 hours. Like it's grim. But I remember when we first started in training, they're like, "Oh, it's like when you was on MSN when you was a kid, and you'd come home and you'd be having conversations with 12 of your mates." It's right though, isn't it? You never moaned about it then.
No.
That was the start of it all, that wasn't it, MSN?
Yeah, I missed that. I was thinking about that the other day because I was thinking about, how we don't even use shorthand text anymore because obviously you can text quick enough and you can everything like that. But now it's emojis. But back then it was emoticons. Remember when MSN was called emoticons?
Yeah, emoticons.
And you could add your own. You could do all the bits and pieces. Like you could add your own ones. You could do this and you could do that. And like language you don't use AFK anymore.
No,
because you're never away from the keyboard.
No,
you never say "be right back" anymore because your phone is always there.
No,
your laptop's always there. You don't say those things anymore. I was just thinking about that the other night because I was playing Diablo and I was like, I remember when I used to play World of Warcraft. You have to go AFK, and people would be annoyed like, "Oh, stay away from the keyboard." You're like, no, but no one says that anymore.
No, I've never even thought about that.
You're never away from the keyboard anymore.
No,
it's always there. It's always in your pocket. It's always going off. I always put mine on silent. I can't do it.
My phone's never been off silent, I don't think. If it has, it's only by accident.
The only thing that ever makes a noise is my alarm tones.
Well, this is the first phone I've had, and it was probably the major selling point when I was looking at phones in the shop, and it has silent except for alarms.
Yeah.
And like my old phone didn't. If you put it on silent, it'd be silent, and your alarms would just vibrate.
That's fucked.
But like it's got silent except alarms. It's the first phone. I mean, I'm not into phones. Like I have a phone and it does me for years. Like
yeah, that same as me.
And then but I don't know. I hate having a phone.
I would go back to the MSN Messenger days.
That was tough. You had to be sat at your computer to use it. But I don't know. I remember I was like at the age where I was probably about 13, 14 when MSN came out, and it really started kicking off, and kids were using it
a lot.
And then up until I had it, we'd finish school and we'd just go out on a bike ride and like go and make jumps in the woods and stuff, and like just get up to all sorts of stuff. And then MSN came out, and we'd come in from school, have my tea, just sit at the computer, just like chatting shit to people
in one computer in the whole house. That's what we had.
We did.
When I first got a computer, it was one computer for the whole house.
One computer in the whole house. Dial-up internet at first.
Yeah. I tried to explain that to Shah about dial-up internet. She did not understand. I was trying to tell her about that Jane Middlemiss picture I tried to print out. And how slow that loaded.
Oh, it's crazy.
And how she's wearing red underwear in the picture, but I accidentally printed it black and white, but it took so long to print it, I just didn't care. These like pseudo celebrities I always think about. I'm like, what's Jane Middlemiss doing now? What are the Blue Peter presenters doing now? What are they doing? What's Tim Vincent doing? What's he doing with his life? What's Andy Peters doing? Andy Peters on morning TV. I get told about Andy Peters at work because I joke about Andy Peters all the time. He's on Live and Kicking.
Oh, do you remember Dave Benson Phillips?
I love Dave Benson Phillips. Get your own back.
Get your own back.
Love that guy. Crazy eyes.
He owns a removal company now.
No.
Yeah. I remember I was talking about him when I was
national
drunk around my mate's house, and he popped up in conversation, and then we googled him, and he owns a removal company.
Oh, that's what he does.
Yeah. I mean, fair play. It's to making a living, isn't he? But
I don't think he would have made millions off of Get Your Own Back, would he? That was the only show he was really on, wasn't he? Was he on Play Days as well?
I don't know. He was on Get Your Own Back. He just used to turn up and scream, get really hyper.
Yeah, just Gunge kids. What was the 90s about, man?
It was ridiculous.
What was the deal with Gunge? Gunge was on every show.
It was a weird time for television, especially over here. Like Nickelodeon started all that, didn't they?
Yeah, that's it. Dave Benson Phillips. Yeah, I remember Dave Benson Phillips. That one you sent me, that video of that old dear sitting down in Ainsley Harriet and Alison having to bring...
So funny.
Slightly racist
Hello,
old woman.
Jill.
Jill. Oh, yeah, there's a clip online of this show that's from... It's like mid-morning kind of TV. It's very stay-at-home mom TV, and it's like it's during work hours anyway.
Yeah.
And essentially what happens is they go to this person's house and surprise them with lots of free stuff, which would normally be, amazing. But it's this old dear who's absolutely tiny and looks a little bit racist and a little bit. She's a bit not sure.
Yeah.
And that she's sitting next to Alison Hammond, who is a gigantic black woman. She is absolutely huge, isn't she? She's so. She's like she's obese, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's a lovely lady. I'm sure she's absolutely lovely. But she's sitting next to
She's
this
a very
woman.
intimidating woman.
Yeah,
especially if you don't like black people.
Especially if you're little Jill. And she's sitting next to her talking about all this stuff, and people is walking through her house bringing gifts. It's like Generation Game, isn't it? People bringing in new TVs.
It's like,
bringing stuff in.
if you play it backwards, it looks like she's being robbed.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's just like the couch comes in, TV comes in.
It's brutal, and you can tell she's like, "Oh, I thought I'd voted for you not to be out." Like, you can tell which way she was leaning, and then all of a sudden Ainsley Harriott comes in brandishing this frying pan. She looks so scared.
He's like the most eccentric, flamboyant black TV chef ever. So you've also won a private breakfast cooked by Ainsley.
Yeah,
he comes rocking in.
He comes into your house
in his paisley shirt.
He's always dead loud, isn't he? Ainsley Harriott. All these UK TV stars. Yeah, little clips like that make me laugh.
That's meant.
Tim Vincent. Who else do we talk about at work? Jamie Theakston we talk about at work. I wonder what he's doing there. There's so many. All them black people that you used to watch when you were a kid, they're not doing anything now. Neil Buchanan, what's he doing?
He's in a metal band.
I heard about him, metal band. I don't know if he's still in a metal band.
Seal or something they
he's
call.
He's old now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got to be
old.
He's getting on, isn't he?
Got to be.
But yeah, I know he's in a metal band. My mate supported him when they played in Manchester. Yeah,
as if
it was to be fair, it was pretty harsh because he's obviously like trying to make a go of this metal band, like really trying to have a go at it. And like the crowd, he's playing this venue in Manchester, Club Academy. It holds about 350 people. I'd say 250 of them all had red heart attack jumpers on. Like, he's never getting past that.
He was old never getting past it. He was old in that show, so like it's 20 years later. He's not going to be. Like, he's got to be like in his 50s, I mean. Yeah. He's got to be like our parents' age. Surely
he's got chops, though. To be fair, he could play.
Yeah, he must have. Have you seen that video where he's drawing a penis?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that video. I showed it to someone at work, and that was the best thing he'd ever seen. I love it when people smash cut weird stuff together. You know, they do that. Someone had done me one of like Theresa May kicking a football and really badly, but then she'd smash cut it with people getting hit in the face by footballs. So Theresa May was doing it. I was like, it's so funny. It was so easy.
Yeah.
I haven't got time for it. I don't know how to do it, but that just is so funny to me.
Yeah, I like him. I like the. Oh shit! That's gone. We'll cut that. I can go.
It's gone, John. Drinking way too much this.
Have you seen Donald Trump's accordion ones?
Donald Trump's accordion ones.
It's dead animated with that. Oh, it's mint.
So it's good. Yeah, the wide. Oh. I love this weird stuff. I love that this is the time that we're in. It's
very lowbrow, isn't it? Don't take much to make you laugh nowadays.
It's just because it's so daft.
Superimposing an accordion to the president's hands.
Or someone's like smash cut the Prime Minister kicking a ball in someone's face. You just don't expect it. It's just. I think this is what we've got down to. I think we're all just destined to be screwed. So we just laugh at
in
the
it
face
for the ride.
Yeah, we're just here for a good time. I never thought that milkshakes would be the start of the revolution, though.
Oh, it's got in it.
This is my favourite thing ever. This is like the 7th one, isn't it?
Where did it come from? Was it Tommy?
The first one was Tommy
Robinson.
Stephen Yaxley Lennon, real name.
What a bellend.
I know. Right wing. He's not even a politician, is he?
No,
right wing figure. He's been in right wing groups, hasn't he? He's not a nice man. But he basically got a McDonald's milkshake thrown over him in the street when he was canvassing, didn't he? He was canvassing. That's what makes it weird. Is like, what's he canvassing for? He's not a part of a group, is he? Or is he just?
To be honest, I don't really give him that much attention.
No.
I know when he was originally EDL when that all started, and then he gave that up and he came on not long after he left. Then he went on Question Time, didn't he? And got absolutely schooled off. Who was it? Was it Akala?
Yes.
I've just got ruined by him.
He's amazing. He's so intelligent.
Yeah, he's brilliant. But yeah, and then after that, he's just never gone away. But I know he was campaigning over. There was a load of paedophiles that were like basically up for trial in court.
Yeah.
And But I think either the majority of them or all of them with like Muslim origins. So of course that means that all Muslims are paedophiles. So he turned up to the court case. Bearing in mind, they were already
they're already
in court. They're already caught. They're already in court.
Tried.
The job's been done. Like, and he's turning up saying it's disgusting. You're letting them get away with it. He posted the names and addresses of them all. And because he gave that much publicity to it, they couldn't give him a fair trial.
Yeah.
He ruined the trial and got thrown out of court.
Yeah.
So he ruined it basically. Like,
because of his interfering.
Yeah, he just had the
Alleged
complete opposite
pedophiles got
effect of what he wanted it to happen. And then somehow, like, I don't know, he's just got half the country behind him apparently, and then the other half saving up for milkshakes.
That is my favourite thing. So yeah, he got milkshaked by this young Asian lad. You can't really hear what he's saying in the interview. Like the guy, he's just on the street talking to this Asian lad, and you can see this Asian lad getting a little bit worked up, and then he goes he just gets super agitated, and all of a sudden this milkshake is over him. And then he gets a couple of punches in, which is how you know he's not a politician, because a politician would never start throwing punches.
No.
So he's obviously not media trained. So he's getting that. But then a member of the EDL 4 times last week got milkshaked.
Yeah.
And then Nigel Farage, head of the new Brexit party, got milkshaked yesterday. And that is the highlight of the news for me. I can't stand
absolutely odious,
that
man.
meat puppet. Yeah, so that we're not getting political, but yeah, we're getting political. So yeah, essentially this is all happening because of Stephen Yaxley Lennon, aka Tommy Robinson, getting. But I love kickbacks. I love little things that happen that bring us together. Like, so this is all happening. McDonald's milkshakes are getting thrown on people. So when Nigel Farage went to, I think it was Edinburgh.
People just bought them and turned up with them.
Well, when he went to Edinburgh, McDonald's said we're not selling milkshakes. At which Burger King sent out a tweet saying we sell milkshakes. Not, you know what I mean? Not with the, like, you know, they're not going to say throw this milkshake, but they just say just in case there is a far right politician in town and we sell milkshakes, and recently people have been throwing milkshakes at far right politicians. So have at it. So they did, and it is hilarious. And this lad that threw this one at Nigel Farage, he's a proper. He looks like a World of Warcraft gamer.
Yeah.
He looks like a student.
Every ounce of courage he could possibly muster to buy this milkshake and turn up with it.
But someone told me that. Someone was reading about it, saying that he didn't know, he didn't buy it with the intention of throwing it.
Oh, of course he did.
He was like, well, he was in the town. I was walking, and this is what made me believe him. It was a Five Guys milkshake. So it was a £5.25 milkshake.
Yeah,
if you're paying more than £5 for a milkshake,
instantly credible.
You are not buying it to throw, are you?
No,
you are not buying it to throw. So he was just saying, I was walking down the street and he's happened to be in the same town. He was on the same street and I couldn't believe it. And this is my chance. And
I just love that people like that who normally wouldn't get involved.
He would never be. Yeah,
no, so I mean, they just all come together and love.
He looks like the kind of guy who
milkshakes.
would hate confrontation, but he's just throwing this milkshake. But I love that he doesn't throw the container doesn't get thrown.
No, it's like a soap opera. Throw a drink in your face. It's like a big thick viscous milkshake.
It's not hot, so it's not like coffee. It's not painful. There's no but there's nothing hard. Like the container's not hitting.
No,
it's just cold liquid. And I didn't realise that like the breast milk of a larger mammal was going to be like the weakness of the far right, but they can't deal with it. Someone even said that the guy that Tommy Robinson was even like threatening a woman. Because these people, when they go to places, are protested all the time. There are protests everywhere they go.
Yeah.
By people.
Rightly so.
Yeah, and rightly so. And this woman was holding a protest sign shaped like a milkshake container, and that caused him distress. So there might be legal action. And it's like, we tried to be kind, we tried to do it with love, we tried to do it with common sense, but actually, milkshake might be what brings about the revolution.
It's mad, isn't it?
I can't believe it.
I love it.
And I just loved it that it happened, and then that he was so disappointed in the security detail. You could hear him on the thing going, "Oh, it was a failure. It was a failure." See that guy coming a mile off. Why didn't you do anything? And he's getting marched off, and he looks like a kid who shat himself, getting marched away by a teacher. He's not moving his arms at all. He's like slumped down. He's like walking away. Everyone in the street's laughing at him.
Yeah,
everybody's laughing at him. It's hilarious. He's such an odious little bastard, isn't he?
Yeah.
He looks like the inside of a fleshlight. He's so disgusting.
Especially with a milkshake on it.
He's so horrible. And that face that he pulls, it looks like Wallace and Gromit. So that went onto the political wall at work. We've got a political wall. And it's
touched on that before.
Yeah, it's gone both sides. And to be fair, most of it is in the Metro paper, which is owned and lobbied by the Conservatives. So there is some pro-Corbyn stuff on there, and we do add pro-Corbyn stuff. But because Conservatives and Labour have kind of got this common enemy in Nigel Farage, there is so much anti-Farage stuff that it just that went up today. All those bits went up about it being him saying that the milkshake was yobbo flavoured and stuff like that. This is even better than last year when the Americans were punching Nazis, because it's not even a violent... Is it really a violent act to throw a drink on someone? It's not even that violent.
It's not.
It's just a liquid.
It's just really petty.
And then all the right-wingers are going, oh, but what happens if it was acid? What if that was acid, it would have been... Like,
but
no,
it wasn't. It wasn't acid, was it?
Milkshake.
It wasn't acid.
Oh, and I love that normally when you think of protesters, you think of like people that are hard line, they're a bit like the Occupy people.
Yeah.
They're very hippie-ish and vegan. And
yeah.
Then the milk's never the answer, but actually milk actually might be the answer. You know, animal cruelty may have happened, but to get the milk that went into that milkshake that's now doused over Nigel Farage's cheap suit. I love it. I love everything about it.
Yeah, it's good.
£5.25 for a milkshake.
Best £5.25 he's ever spent that.
He's never going to have to buy a drink again, is he?
No.
Everywhere he goes, they're going to be like, you're the guy. And they're like, yep, I was the one. I threw it. But anything like that gets paid for now. Like that first lad that threw the one on Tommy Robinson, a GoFundMe got set up. So any court costs or anything were paid for. So it was no cost to him. Basically, he got off scot-free probably with just a warning in case they wanted to press charges. But you know, he's the kind of guy that would press charges, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He'd be like, it was afraid, it was assault, GBH, this guy threw this.
If he's suing somebody for having a milkshake-shaped sign, causing him undue distress.
I can't believe it.
Absolutely.
This is where we are. I don't understand. And he said that it was radical. He was radicalised, this man.
But what I think is like really, really mental, like after the Manchester bombings, Tommy Robinson used that as a platform.
That was a huge platform.
And he showed up in Manchester, did this big rally, and then there was loads, like there was a massive, like obviously, like counter protests that come to
always
obviously like try and see him off, and there was violence, there was rioting, there was fighting, and when they were sort of confronted with that, they didn't do anything. They just got involved. No. Obviously, they wanted the reaction, and it just escalated it 10 times worse. And then they do a few years later, they literally turn up for a protest. Someone throws a milkshake. 10 minutes later, they've gone. That's it.
That's it.
It works.
It's like the Wicked Witch, isn't it? Throwing the water on her and she melted away.
It's just mad. Like
fascists just need milkshakes thrown on them.
It's funny. Like the videos of it online are like absolutely hilarious to watch, but it is actually effective as well.
It's worked. I just love it. I love everything about it because he can afford that suit. He can afford to have it dry cleaned, and he can afford a new suit. He can afford all that. So it's not going to cost him anything other than the embarrassment, which is hilarious.
Yeah, that's what makes it so good.
But I know some people who are that way leaning, and you can be that. The freedom of which you're allowed because this is England, and you can believe whatever you like, and you can say whatever thoughts you like. But 90% of the people who I've come across from all different, people I work with, people that come in and all this kind of stuff, so not just friends, but other people, they're just thinking of all the crazy shit that he said, the lies that he's come out with, the hatred and the bile that's come out of this man, the least he deserves is a milkshake thrown on him. That seems to be the general consensus.
Yeah.
If you can say all that horrible shit and the most that's happened to you so far is a milkshake, then you've got off lightly.
Yeah.
That seems to be...
Absolutely.
Not to say that there'll be more to come. I hope there isn't more to come. Because he was the one that incited the violence after Brexit, wasn't he? He was like, if Brexit doesn't go through, there will be riots in the streets and this and that. I hope there's not riots in the streets because it isn't going particularly well for them. But this milkshake thing just has me howling. I hope it continues. I hope that lots of far-right people get...
We'll actually have to post some of these on the Facebook if people haven't seen them. I don't know if this sort of news makes it over there.
I don't know because they know about Brexit. I know a lot of Americans that do know about Brexit because it almost seems like
Brexit
news,
they will. But
this
are they going to know
fallout from that? Isn't it?
Are they going to know who Tommy Robinson is?
Probably not Tommy Robinson. Nigel Farage maybe. because he's disgusting, and he's been over there, hasn't he? He's been over there on the big orange dick.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he was one of the first people that was over there to go and congratulate the man on, what was that, 2 years ago or so. So they must know who he is.
That's gone quick, that, hasn't it?
Can't go quick enough. You might do it again. You can't believe these people exist, can you?
No, I can't even believe he did it first time. Like,
it scares me.
there's nobody. Well, obviously, I know it's pretty touchy. I don't know if it's appropriate, like talking about American politics when we're not.
It's nothing to do with us. We are outsiders looking in.
Exactly.
Obviously.
But it seems to be that, like, obviously, a lot of Americans wanted him in because he won the election.
Yeah.
But the vast majority, it appears, don't.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever come across one person outside of America
Yeah.
who thinks that, like, he's the right man for the job. Like, it's damaged America's image so much.
But they don't have the same system we have with the votes.
No, I know. It's
that's why it gets weird. It's not
different.
who has the most votes that wins, which is where it gets a bit squirrely. How can that not be the case? And some states are worth more.
Yeah.
And some areas are bigger, like the whole gerrymandering thing. We don't have any of that here. We just have local MPs in different constituencies of roughly the same size. Because places get split up, like counties get split up and all that kind of stuff.
Like, voting system's not as simple as just.
It's not as easy as that, no.
It's just.
You have local elections, which have just gone on. Obviously, we've got European elections going on. For the people who said that European members of Parliament aren't elected, that was the whole argument. In fact, you can vote for your local or whoever it is to be the MEP. It's weird. I don't understand.
It's just backwards, isn't it? Like, I think the problem is, like, there's a massive push, and everybody needs to vote.
Yeah.
And then you get these absolute lunatics who come in who appeal to, like, the uneducated. I'm not in any way at all saying, like, I'm dead educated, like, my vote means more or anything. Not at all. But, like, Brexit, like, the majority of people who voted on that do not have a clue of the implications.
A lot of people that voted in Brexit had never voted before any other election.
Exactly. They've got no idea of the implications of it. And they just...
But no one did. No one knew what it was.
I think with Britain as well, like, there's a massive pride of being attached to being, like, working class and being like coming from that sort of background. And as soon as you see anybody on a platform who claims to have come from that background, who changed the name from Stephen Yaxley Lennon to Tommy Robinson to appeal to that sort of crowd, they just get behind them. Yeah, they do. And they'll just blindly vote on the way that they're told to vote, and then you've got the mess that we're in now.
That's it. Because the main guy that was for Brexit and against Europe is Nigel Farage. Yeah. Who is getting an EU pension. His pension is paid by, and wages are paid by Europe that he's against. His children have German passports, so they'll still be free to travel between the countries in Europe. And a lot of these people who are for Brexit have got either offshore, or their funds are placed in areas which aren't going to be affected. Yeah. It's so weird. You just go, right, okay, so you're for Brexit, and then you can really quickly see where that's come from. Yeah. You go, well, what have you got? Lots of money. Where's the money tied up in? Okay, got you. And you can find it. Yeah. It's so easy. It's not even difficult to find. But people don't want to read. No. People want a little snapshot, or they can read it on a bus. It's got to be short enough to go on the side of a bus, hasn't it? And then they believe everything. That money's gone. It's so crazy. But it's never felt like this before, has it? Where it's split. The country's split. It's weird. I'm sure America's
not good
too.
It just isn't good, is it?
Where you've got some, you can tell a person. I bet you can walk down the street, you can be like, I bet you were for, I bet you were against, I bet you were for. I see people at work, they come in and be like, I bet that was for, yeah, okay, no problem.
Yeah, definitely. You can tell, like, you shouldn't judge people, should you?
No,
but
definitely not.
You can spot it a mile off. Like, you really can.
So we have all these little people, like, people come in all the time. We have salesmen, and there's a few reps that come in all the time, obviously, because reps come around all this, like, the old-fashioned job, isn't it? Sales rep. Yeah. And we have this one that came in, and we were like, me and the guy that I talked to were like, I'm unsure which way he'd go, because he seems quite intelligent with what we spoke to him and everything like that. But obviously, we don't talk business with him. But he's also a sales rep, so he spends all his time in factories and around people that might be either rich enough to be like, well, I don't want to be in Europe, or poor enough to be like, I don't want to be in Europe. So we just kind of hinted slightly asking him which way he leant.
Yeah.
At which point he was like, no, I voted to remain, staunch Remainer, and then volleyed off for a long time on the reasons, all this research that he'd done, all this crazy. I was like, he's a friend. We're doing business with this guy a lot more.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You could just tell. It's like, oh man, all these weird people. Not like Finchy from The Office. They're not reps like that.
Oh, what a guy.
Oh, you know, speaking of weird links and weird stuff to do with your phone or whatever, I ended up watching the second season of The Office. I don't know how the Americans stretched it into like 8 seasons.
Well, I think the first season's pretty much like a shot-for-shot remake.
Okay, which is good. That's fine.
But with like, I don't want to say the wrong thing here. The comedy is completely different.
Yeah,
like the first one is so dry and awkward and horrible. Like it's painful to watch. Whereas the American one's like very classic comedy. Like the jokes have changed and rephrased and things, but it's very, very, very samey. And then after the first season, it just goes off on its own complete.
Okay, that's why they do
story.
it,
But it is really good though. Like
I'll have to.
I still watch it now. Like it is really funny.
Because I've been watching the second season. I rounded the second season off. And I thought, do you know what? I fancy watching a horror movie. And I was looking for The Witch.
The first season, then.
Yeah. I was looking for The Witch. Weirdly, that guy is in. Finchy is in The Witch. And so I typed in Witch, and I was like, it didn't come up. And I tried typing it with the V's instead of the W and all that. It wasn't happening when on Netflix. So I was like, well, what can I watch? I went through my list, and then I found that Coen Brothers. You ever seen the Coen Brothers movie, Ballad of Buster Scruggs?
Yeah, I've not seen it. I know of it.
It's absolutely amazing. I watched that for the first time. He's in that. As one of the tiny bit part character, but it was just weird. I was watching these 3 movies that I was trying to do 3 things.
Is that the thingy one? What's his name?
There's loads of different people in it.
I've got in my head that Adam Sandler's in it.
No, Adam Sandler's not in it. James Franco's in it. A few other people from other bits and pieces are in it.
I'm sure I've seen it. It's like a guy on a horse, like the.
That's the first
like
bit.
the
Yeah, it's an
poaching.
anthology, so it's like 6 different stories.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah. I've it's definitely on my radar.
The guy who plays Buster Scruggs, the other guy on the horse.
Yeah.
He is in like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Right.
So he's in like other Coen Brothers films of the same kind of, not the period, but the same kind of area and all that kind of stuff. But it was just weird that it was just that link with this guy. I was watching The Office and I was like, oh, I fancy watching The Witch, which must have just been subconsciously me being like, oh, this guy was in The Witch. And then then completely randomly going to whatever was in my Netflix list and him being in that.
You've just reminded me, actually. We had watching Game of Thrones.
Yep.
And there's a guy in it called Tormund.
Okay.
He's like this big. You like him? He's like this big bearded ginger, like absolute lunatic, like just an absolute.
Is this the guy, the wilding guy? Wild guy.
He's an absolute animal.
I've been told
of a
about
man.
this guy because I used to have long hair.
Like, he's meant like I buzz off him, but he really, really looks like Brent from Mastodon.
He does.
And we was watching it, and I was like,
the face tattoo.
And I remember saying like to the missus when I was watching it, I was like, he really, really looks like, it looks like the guitarist from Mastodon. I'm a massive fan of him. So my wife don't know who he is. And then she googled him, and she's like, oh yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Next scene. Brent from Mastodon, he's in it as an extra.
No way.
Yeah, he's like just there in the background, you can see him. And I was like, no, that actually is him.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, you're getting a bit obsessed now. I was like, no, honestly, that's him. We Googled it and he was. So,
that's weird.
Yeah, Brent Hines.
We have stuff like that. At work, we call that a Linkin Park. I don't know if we talked about this last time or not.
Yeah, we've mentioned it.
Yeah, where if you're talking about something, whatever, and it comes on, that's like, we call it a Linkin Park because it happened with Linkin Park the first time we noticed it at work. And we were just like, it's just a weird thing that these little coincidences happen.
I like them though.
I do. Speaking of work, there was the incident.
The incident.
The incident. No, it's not the incident. It's since I've been there, which is like 7 months, it's the second incident. But there has been several incidents previously. Basically, the 2 toilets side by side, men and women's. Women's toilet does not have the greatest of sewerage. And so what normally happens is someone will alert the group to the fact there's been an incident where essentially the toilet's been set to stun and not kill. And it's the second time since I've been there, but it's happened a lot before. And so me and my friend at work are just working along, and the woman who was in the line of fire the last time came back and said, guys, just so you know, I'm about to go to the toilet, and before I have gone to the toilet, there's been an incident. At which case, we run directly into the flames and go and see what's going on. It's horrific. It's horrific. It's been there for a while. It looks like a pound of Dundee cake in the bottom of the bowl. It's terrible. And she's warned us about it. Now, bearing in mind that she told us before she went to clear her own conscience.
That's still got to be who smelt it, don't it? Applies.
She's gone, it's there, but I need to go. So we've had to clear her out so she could go to the toilet.
You can't go on top of it. You can't double dip.
Exactly. Everybody.
You can't double dip.
Everybody has said that. That's the thing that no one can get their heads around. Because the last one, the first time it happened properly, 13 days it was there.
Oh
no
my God.
It up for 13 days. So this one had happened, and we know who did it. Like, we'd worked it out by the timeline, who was around and who was not around. We know the woman who's done it. But it's just become such a comedy thing that the last time it happened, the directors printed out a picture of an anaconda with "flush me" written on it and stuck them on the back of the doors. That's how they deal with it. It's not the directors don't want to get involved in the incident. What they would like is for the person who caused the incident to clean up after themselves, which is, rightly so.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
But it got to like day 6 after the weekend, and it kind of still been there. And me and the director and a friend of mine were talking, and we couldn't talk about anything else. It's all that was on anyone's lips, unfortunately. So we ended up, like, he got basically like a broom handle and was pretended to harpoon it. So we gave him a long rubber glove that goes up to the elbow, and then jokingly, thinking he was going to tackle it, gave him, for some reason, in this back room, there's like masks for, breathing in chemicals. There's like eyewear so you don't get the chemicals in your eyes.
Yeah.
Someone's got a paintball mask. So we thought we'd like put the hint a bit further into day 6 and put the paintball mask, the harpoon, and the glove on top, like on the toilet. So whoever goes in there next is going to have to move it all.
Yeah.
The next person in, while we're still standing there, is the woman who is the person who's done
the culprit.
The culprit has gone in there, and we're looking around amongst ourselves like we can't believe what's happening, like what's going to happen. And if you were innocent, you'd come out and go, who the fuck's put all that stuff in there? Who's been a joker?
Yeah.
No words. She came out, just quiet. Didn't even mention anything that had been put next to the toilet. We were like, it's got to definitely be her. And it goes around. But it was like this director was talking to us. His wife was like, when you go home from work, his wife was like, is it still there? Like everyone's involved in this soap opera. Is it still there? And at one point, so this happened on, say, like the Thursday it happened.
Yeah.
We text a picture of it to the other director who was out working somewhere else. He came in the next morning looking a little bit white, a little bit sheepish, and he came over to us, and all he said, he just came over and went, why are people still going on top of it? And then left. That was all he had to say on the matter. And no one can get their head around it. You just like, people are going on top of it and no one's speaking. No one's speaking. Why are they still going on top of it?
It's fucking grim.
It was so grim.
Is it still there?
No, it's gone now. It was 6.5, 7 days, this one.
You got rid of it?
I think it just broke down. I think it just
degraded. Caved under the pressure of all the additional ones.
Throughout the day, people are going back to check. People are going to check on it. If it was like, in my head, I was like, characterise it like in Lord of the Rings. It was like, there was like a draft going towards that room. There was like a black speech. It's like dragging you towards it. You had to look over the edge of the bowl and see if it was still there. And this harpoon was still next to it with a baseball, with a paintball mask. You just couldn't believe it. And so it just become this incident. So we thought we knew who'd done it. She hadn't said anything at this being put there. So we were like, it's definitely you. Of course it's you. Because if you come out and you go, who the fuck's put all that stuff there?
Yeah, if it's you, you're trying to draw attention away from that.
Draw it away. Quiet. So we thought she was going to stay behind and clean it. Never happened. So it lasted 6 days. And so every time she's walking like at random points when she's in the room in this giant factory, me and the guy next to her just be like, shame. Shame. And then I found one of the chav lads had left behind a bike bell. He was like, ding, shame, shame. She didn't understand, and I've never seen it, but we were just shaming this woman, like following this woman around with a bike bell. Bing, shame, shame. Like someone, like we'd be in different parts of the factory, and I'd just go shame, and someone else over there like shame. Oh, because this incident is incident number 3. I think it's 3rd or 4th incident. It's the second one since I've been there.
These people?
These animals walking around. And do you know what broke me? The morning after it had happened, this is when the boss had come in and gone, people have gone on top of it and I can't, no one's speaking. No one's speaking about it. We were just sat there and we knew exactly who it was. And she was just there on the break table. She got a little Tupperware of bran flakes and she was just pouring the milk in, tamping them down as if she's a normal person. We were just looking at everyone's looking at her. We were like, how do you think that, like, why are you just walking around drinking your coffee?
Do you think she's unaware?
She's got to be. How can you not have seen? Because it's not already vulgar. We broke through the other side. But don't you check? Don't you check, man? That thing was there for 6 days. You know when you flush it, you go, oh. There's still a shadow. Yeah. There's still a ghost of a shark in there. You've got to know. Surely you've got to know.
Yeah, you must do.
It's sharks. You've got to know what it is. Oh, it's in there. So that was the incident at work. That's incident number. I've been there. It's been incident number 2. But the record is 13 days. A 13-day incident.
That's grim, that.
Yeah.
And people going on top of it for 13 days. Why don't they just use the other bathroom?
Because there's a men's and a women's. There's one toilet in each. And it's just, yeah. It's rough. It's rough. Shame. Shame. Shame
madness.
This woman. She didn't understand it, but we know what she's done. We all know. We all know what she's done. She knows what she's done, and that's all that matters. I don't know what to share. I feel like I've overshared now.
Just clear the room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think the message is to just check. Just have a little check.
A little courtesy check.
When you've been and had a little try, have a little check.
I don't know what to do with that information now.
There's nothing to be done about it. You just know that people in the world are suffering.
People at your work are suffering. If it was there for 6.5 days.
All they eat is bran flakes and chocolate and crisps.
Well, that's not going to help the matter, is it?
Well, no, it's not. It's just like cement. I was just trying to figure out what kind of a compound sets in water. Chemically, it's something we've never seen before. Like, we could use this in building. Fridges could be made from this.
Oh, man.
Oh. That's 53 minutes.
That's us then.
On
that bombshell.
What are you going to put on the screen for this? Right, thank you for listening.
Cheers.
You can catch the No Frills podcast the 4th Friday of every month on Lucky Star Radio. It's 5 p.m. GMT, 12 p.m. ET, and 9 a.m. PT, and also available online and soon to be YouTube. See you later.
Shame.
Shame.